seems like the bad news for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo just keeps coming. There's numerous, or at least several, I believe, allegations of kind of sexual harassment, unwanted advances, things like that by from women towards him. He's saying he's not resigning, and then New York Times and Wall Street Journal. Hey, get the fuck out of there. Top Cuomo aides rewrote nursing home report from state health officials to hide higher death toll. And let's see what Mr. Cuomo is saying about all of this.
Cuomo is under fire over accusations that he and his administration covered up thousands of COVID-related deaths from nursing homes. The governor taking aim at the media with a not-so-veiled threat.
I did not aggressively enough. We did not aggressively enough take on the misinformation that caused people pain. And it caused pain for grieving families. And that's what I regret. I'm not going to make that mistake again. If you're lying to the people of the state of New York, I'm going to call it out.
But he's actually the one that's like, how is that's so like dystopian? Like, no, it's everybody else that's lying. I'm not going to take any accountability for all these fucked up things I've done and continue to do. Andrew Cuomo, 2024.
If you are lying in a report, I'm going to call it out. If you're lying in a newspaper because you have your own partisan agenda, I'm going to call it out.
Now, he's also facing allegations of bullying and intimidation. A New York assemblyman says
Ron
Cuomo
Kim,
threatened
right?
him over comments that he had made and pressured him to issue a statement clarifying what he said. Cuomo's office denies that. Let's talk about this now with our chief media correspondent, Brian Stelter. Brian, calling out lies is one thing, but it seems that Cuomo would consider fair reporting about
As
this
lying.
nursing home controversy to be a lie, and that is another thing.
And that is a problematic thing.
Yes.
Whenever a politician resorts to media bashing, you know they're in it pretty deep.
Yep.
Of course, Governor Cuomo is particularly Trumpy when it comes to Democrats in the United States. He has a Trumpian streak, and he does resort to media bashing from time to time. Right now, he seems to be saying he has a communications problem rather than an actual problem. Right? He's saying we didn't communicate well enough. We didn't sort out the misinformation. And I'm sure he feels that there are partisan right-wing websites and television networks that are unfairly trying to take him down. Every single hour they're talking about Cuomo on some of those other channels. Republicans in the state of New York feel so emboldened right now, and they're trying to talk about taking Cuomo on. But at the same time, Brianna, to your point, there are a lot of real reporters digging into this, asking legitimate questions, and it's never a good look for the governor to be saying it's about misinformation and lying. By the way, Cuomo about to speak again today to reporters. We will see if he continues.
So not taking any type of responsibility, blaming everybody else. It's misinformation, lies. We should have called it out more aggressively at the time. But we didn't do anything wrong. My administration, we didn't do anything wrong. It's everybody else. It's all the bullshit. Very Trumpian, as Brian Stelter pointed out there. So this is what some top aides for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo allegedly rewrote a June nursing home report from state health officials to hide higher COVID-19 deaths toll among the state's nursing home residents, NYT and Wall Street Journal reports. In its reporting, the New York Times cites documents and interviews with 6 people with direct knowledge of the discussions who requested anonymity. Both the Times and the Wall Street Journal are reporting that some of Cuomo's senior aides were involved in rewriting the report to lower the death toll in nursing homes, cutting it by nearly half. And you would think multiple senior aides doing this probably had the go-ahead, probably had the green light from Cuomo himself. One would think. And then New York attorney Letitia James takes charge of Andrew Cuomo probe. Good for her. It'll be interesting to see what comes from that. The report involvement of Cuomo's aides demonstrates how far the governor's office appears to have gone to obscure damaging data to maintain his reputation of a leadership during the pandemic, again, which he handled it fucking horribly, but the liberal media tried to prop him up as some, amazing politician who's doing everything he can to make sure we get through this pandemic as best as possible, and he was doing this fucking kind of shit behind the scenes. Facing calls for resignation following 2 allegations of sexual harassment, accusation they made unwanted advances on another woman at a 2019 wedding. Cuomo has denied any intentional. So if it wasn't intentional, it's still okay? Like, what the fuck? And apologized, saying, quote, "I now understand they act in a way that made people feel," Jesus Christ. Alleged intervention by Cuomo's office in June is the earliest action currently known to delay the recent data of nursing home deaths, and happened as the Democratic governor was starting to write a book about his experience leading. Attorney General James issued a report in late January finding that the New York State Department of Health undercounted COVID-19 deaths among residents in nursing homes by approximately 50%. 50, it's a lot. Essentially by leaving out deaths of residents who had been transferred to hospitals. But the report also said the overall number of deaths did not change. Attorney General also found that some nursing homes throughout the state failed to take proper infection control measures and did not isolate COVID-19 patients in the nursing home. And look what else Cuomo did very conveniently. Cuomo gave immunity to nursing home executives after big campaign donations. So these nursing homes that didn't follow protocol, weren't looking out for the best interests of these folks at these nursing homes, aren't going to be faced with any type of accountability because Cuomo, the slimy piece of shit that he is, gave immunity to these nursing homes and their executive. Fuck. Critics say data proves New York's liability shield is linked to higher nursing home death rates during the... goddamn, he's so shitty. It's the kind of shit you would expect from a slimy-ass Republican, and that you have fucking Cuomo doing it, and, unfortunately also have other Democrats that are just as shitty or spineless doing the bidding of the capitalist class, like Gavin Newsom here on the West Coast. As Governor Andrew Cuomo faced a spirited challenge in his bid to win New York's 2018 Democratic primaries, political apparatus got a last-minute boost. A powerful healthcare industry group suddenly poured more than $1 million into a Democratic committee back in his campaign. Less than 2 years after that flood of cash from the Greater New York Hospital Association, GNYHA, Cuomo signed legislation last month quietly shielding hospital and nursing home executives from the threat of lawsuits stemming from the coronavirus outbreak. The provision inserted into an annual budget by Cuomo's aides created one of the nation's most explicit immunity protections for healthcare industry officials, according to legal experts. God damn. Whew, fuck. Damn. So this is from The Guardian. When was this article? 9 months old. So sometime in 2020 this came out. But Jesus, this is one shady motherfucker, right? So he got a bunch of money from the nursing home hospital industry, and then conveniently signed into law giving those same people, those same companies, immunity from being able to be sued when they fuck up, when they're in the wrong for keeping people safe who are in their care. That is so fucking disgusting. And then you have the other stuff with the manipulating the data to make it look like less people died in nursing homes. Wait, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted to read the one about the sexual assault. Is it, maybe this was it? Or the harassment. James to take Cuomo probe. There's Letitia James. God, the CNN website is just shit though, isn't it? In a report published on the evening of May 7, 2018, the New Yorker, then Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, was leveled with a series of domestic and sexual abuse allegations within hours. By the time dessert came around, James recounted later that year, Schneiderman announced plans to step down. Next week, James declared her candidacy to replace. Let's see. James is a favorite New York progressives. Cuomo, their longtime rival and antagonist. Cuomo following the 2 allegations of sexual harassment. James is now at the... Okay, well this... He's saying that nothing inappropriate happened. If the investigation shows that something inappropriate did happen, I think he would have to resign. New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins, a Democrat, told CNN on Wednesday. You would fucking think, you would hope, right? But it seems like, well, I mean, I'm sorry if I intentionally did something that wasn't my intent. I apologize, and that's the end of it. Let's move on. Basically, is the vibe we're getting from Cuomo. But god damn, what is getting a bunch of money from nursing homes, hospital industry, giving them that immunity to they're not going to be able to held accountable financially when they let people die and get hurt because of the mismanagement of the coronavirus, the numerous, or I guess 2, I should say, sexual harassment allegations, and then them cooking the data to make it look like less deaths are happening. Just a lot of shady shit happening around New York Attorney General Andrew Cuomo. And obviously, if he probably had any type of moral or ethical code, he probably wouldn't be in the situation that he's in. Or if he had maybe a little bit of it, at least, he would fucking resign. I mean, Jesus Christ. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with these investigations. Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content. All part of the people. Peace. Much love.